Welcome. Welcome to the Ruby Moss Cottage podcast. I'm Joyce, and this is a podcast about knitting and crafting. So if this is your first time, welcome. You know what you're in for. If you're returning, thank you. I hope you've had a nice Christmas season and are ready for the new year. It's 2019, the first episode of 2019. I don't know where the time has gone. We are already 15 days in to 2019. But it's good. I'm excited about the new year. I've got a lot of fun things planned, a lot of knitting plans. So I am ready to tackle this thing. Hopefully, you've been knitting a lot since we've last chatted. I have finished a couple of things, of which I'm very excited to show you. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen them. But still, I'm going to talk about them and let you see them again. I have both of my granddaughters here today, and so it may get a little, I may stop and pause every now and then because they may need me. But otherwise, we're just going to dig in and have fun with this next 30-40 minutes. Hopefully, it will be a little longer. I've had a few people tell me they just wish my podcast was longer, and it's hard when you're just one person to sit here and talk for that long. But we may get a little longer today. A lot of dreaming in the first year. I'm not one to come up with New Year's resolutions per se. I do always have a word for the year. Last year my word was, what was my word last year? You see, it's gone. It really left an impact, didn't it? Last year's word was intentional. So I tried to be intentional about everything I did and carried that word throughout my life. This year, the word is discover. And it's really weird how I come up with words because I start looking for a word November, 1st of December, and usually that word will appear over and over and over. I'll see it throughout things that I'm reading. I'll hear people talk about it. I'll see it on billboards, whatever. And this year it was the same thing. Discover kept coming up over and over and over. And so that's my word, discover. And already at first I was a little, what am I going to discover? Every word does that. I don't know why. I always have this fear that this word is going to bring bad into my life. But sometimes it is tough, and then sometimes it's just very joyful. So far this year, my discoveries have been pretty exciting. I've discovered, one of my words right off that I discovered was bravery. I'm reading this book, which I'll talk about in my book bags, and bravery, and that scared me because, to be brave, you have to confront some of your fears. And so I have stepped out of my comfort zone a couple of times already. But yeah, discover is my word. So while I don't have a New Year's resolution per se, I do have a word. And so it'll be fun to discover where the word discover is going to take me this year and what I'm going to find out and what I'm going to realize about myself, about others, and things like that. I see two little girls. Anyway, so that is where I've gone with that. And I did, though I don't do resolutions, I did this year's my first year. I kind of committed to a knitting list. And the Make 9, you may have seen it on Instagram, Make 9 2019. So I'll go over that in a little bit too. But yeah, so yes. They wanted snacks. But anyway, I am excited about the podcast for the new year. I think what I'm shooting for right now, and this may change, but I'm shooting for one time a month. On the 15th of the month, I want to let that be like my recording day, and then editing maybe the 15th. I may drop it on the 15th, or it may not hit till the 16th. But my goal as of now is to be more organized in my podcasting so that maybe one time a month, so it's not too much on me but yet it'll be maybe a little bit more planned and just a little bit more consistent than what I'm doing now. Because now I let life just kind of sweep in, and it's willy-nilly when I podcast. I always wanted to do it every other week, but then it wouldn't. Then I'd feel bad. And so I'm thinking once a month, surely I can do that. So hopefully around the 15th of each month, you will see a new podcast come up. And hopefully it'll be quite substantial, and it'll be worth watching. I wish we could sit and you could talk back to me. I love your comments that you write on Instagram, and then at the bottom of the YouTube channel, like where the comment sections are, because I then feel like we get to talk back and forth. I will say the last podcast, there were 4 comments I do believe that I have not answered yet. I did read them, and one of you, and there may have been 2 of you, gave me a book to read, and I read it and I loved it. So I need to go back on there and respond to you. But if I don't reply right away, it's not because I'm not reading it. It's not because it's not important. I have read it. I just maybe have been in the moment. I got called away because I do keep my 3 grandies a lot. So there's just different circumstances of why I may not immediately get back to you. But I do read them, and I love your comments. They really help me, that back and forth of talking back and forth. So please feel free to leave comments, and because that is that two-way conversation that I like. Right now I feel like it's just me, but when I can read the comments, I'm like, oh yeah, someone's there. We are talking. So feel free to do that. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. You'll get notifications then. It'll show up in your feed of when I do post new podcasts, if you'll do that. And then hit the thumbs up, the like. No, I guess like will be on Instagram. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. Feel free to follow me on Ravelry. I'm Ruby Moss Cottage across all spectrums of the internet. We do have a new year, if you're a new viewer, we do have a page, a group on Ravelry. And I guess this is the year. I need to either take it down or get involved. So I have 2 moderators. I think they may be a little busy. So if it's something that you would like to take over, I know some of you I've communicated with on a pretty good basis. If you're interested in being one of the moderators, feel free to let me know, and you can take that over, and then we can just do giveaways and things on there. Speaking of giveaways, I have a friend. My family and I like to vacation at Fripp Island, and there's one of the followers here lives there, and her name is Kathy Doon, and I don't know if you'll remember, a couple of years ago, I videoed from there the hatching of the little sea turtles. If you never got to watch that, go back on my Instagram feed and go back to watch that. That is amazing. Anyway, there was a lady there, and she was telling me all about the boiling and everything about how they move the eggs, and then they wait so long for them to hatch, and then of these little sea turtles. Here it was Kathy, who I had already talked to, and I had no idea. She had no idea that we were talking back and forth. And it wasn't until I posted that she said, that was me telling you all that stuff. So that was really cool. I'm really sad that I missed out on it. And every year I go down, I think, okay, or every visit we make, I think, okay, I'm going to try and reach out to her. And then one day we're going to have to sit down, and we're going to have a glass of wine on the beach, and we're going to knit, and we're going to talk, and she's going to inform me of all the things that I do not know. But anyway, she's a knitter, and she's designed this shawl. It's called Holy Fripp. And so she gave me the pattern, and I'm definitely going to knit it, because I would love to have, this is a beautiful shawl, and I want to find just the right colors to knit it with, some summer beachy color. I want to do it with big needles, so it's just a nice summer shawl. So it'll be my Fripp shawl. But she's also gifted it to one of you. And so I just have to come up with a giveaway to well, a giveaway. So I've got brainstorm with me. If y'all think of something, let me know. But that is something that a moderator could help me out with. Anyway, a big thank you to Kathy for that. She is just a kind-hearted woman to do that. So let's move from that. Let's move into what is out of my bags. I have two things out of my bags. One thing, oh my lands, this has been the most, tiresome is not the word, because I really enjoyed the process. Okay, first of all, I started this sweater back in oh gosh, I want to think Marchish, because I finished one yoke sweater, and then we went to Iceland, and then I came back, and I think that's when it was in March. I think I started this this yoke sweater. It's by Jennifer Steingass, and it is the Sea Change sweater. And let me tell you, this baby is warm. I wanted to wear it for today to podcast in, but I wore it this weekend. We went to the mountains, and it is so warm that it's too warm to wear today. It really needs to be on a cold, snowy day before I wear it. But this sweater, sleeves, I made the sleeves really long because I like long sweaters, and so when I wore it, I rolled them up. But it has the pattern around the sleeve, which was new for me. I'd never done one there. It also has the pattern around the hemline, which I've never done that one before. And then this up here. I used fleece wool, fleece wool. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it was like turtle dove, brownie nut, and I don't remember what the color of this is. But I love the wool. It feels wonderful. I do have to wear something under it, and that probably adds to the warmth. I had like an Under Armour shirt underneath of it. I did wear a coat out that day. It was really cold. So, but yes, it is quite warm, but it is very, very pretty. I'm happy with how it turned out. I had knit the sleeves, and thank God she had you knit the sleeves first, because with all the stop and go I had on this sweater, I probably would have never finished it if I hadn't already had the sleeves done. But I knit I knit from here all the way up to this arm. So it was 17 inches I knit. Might have been 15. But, and I thought, you know what? Before I start the bust increases, let me go ahead and try it on. When I tried it on, you could have fit 2 people in it. It was humongous. I forget the inches that it measured around. And I guess all scrunched up on the needles, I just didn't know. I think I did gauge, I'm not sure. Okay, here was one of the things that I discovered. I cast the sleeves on in one size of needle. And I guess when I picked this back up, I don't know what I was thinking, but I cast it on a needle size that was 2 sizes up. So the sleeves fit me. I never bothered to think this wouldn't fit me. Well, somehow in the process, I got the wrong needle size. So it just was humongous. So I had to rip all that out. But I just remembered, before I had to rip all that out, I had cast this on, knit this far, and the hem was flipping up. Well, I could not live with that. And so I took the ribbing off. Now, to take the ribbing off, because you couldn't just ravel it back, because I had started here. It wasn't top down. So I had to cut this off, go in and pick up the stitches, and then started knitting from the top down, the ribbing. That was confusing enough for me, but I figured it out. I did that 3 times. I could not get it to quit flipping up. So I finally decided I was going to go ahead and knit, and then maybe in the end I could go in here and crochet something to keep it, or maybe it would block out. So that's when I knit all this. It was so big, I just had to rip the entire thing out and start completely over. So that's why I say, if I had not had this done, the sleeves finished, I would not have knit this sweater. But I'm so glad I did. Oh, I'm so glad I did, because I love it. But when I started back, I had done enough Googling that what I did, and I'm going to tell you this, so in case you have that problem with your hems flipping up, you'll know a little trick. I don't remember what link it was, whose link it was. I'll try and put it in the down bar to let you know. But anyway, I did my ribbing, this two needle sizes smaller, and then when I started the stockinette stitch, the plain round, I knit the knit stitches and slipped the purl stitches. So I did a round of that. Knit the knit, slip the purl. It is supposed to even out the gauge, so that all the extra fabric that you have in the knit purl, the knit 2 purl 2 or knit 1 purl 1, I think I just knit 1 purl 1. That extra, that little bit of extra that you get when you move the yarn up to purl, that's what throws the gauge off and it makes it flare out. So that helped. It fixed it. Now it did flip maybe just a little as I was knitting, but it blocked out. Anyway, then I went ahead and knit with the right needle size, and from that point on it was a dream. I had no problems. When I got every little bit, I kept trying it on, and then I realized, okay, we're good here. But yeah, I really, really am happy with this pattern. This is her second pattern that I've knit. I've done this and I've done Fern and Feather, and I'm happy with both of them. Her patterns are so well written that yeah, I want to do another one this year. I would like to do 2, but I've got such a list of things that I want to knit that I don't think I'm going to get 2 done. But this is out of my bags, and I'm quite happy with it. I did have people stop me when I've worn it. I've only worn it one time, and I had several people stop me and ask me if I knit it. That's so fun. I love it when people stop me and ask me, because I'm not one. I'm the type of person, if someone says, oh, I like your sweater, I just say thank you. I don't know what it is about me. I can't say, oh, thank you, I made it. I wish I could, but I can't. So, but the last few times I've only worn this once, but the last few times I've worn this and then the other one, the Fern and Feather, people have said, I've had people stop and say, did you make that? And so I've said, yeah, I did. I don't know. And that needs fixed in me. Do you have that problem, or do you just proudly say, I made this? Okay. Second thing I made that's out of my bags is, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's the Bay House. I'm going to look it up because it's going to drive me crazy otherwise. Okay. The Lighthouse Bay Super Scarf. Lighthouse Bay Super Scarf, and it is by Alexandra Tavel. But I used, you've seen me, this is a scarf, hence super scarf. On one side it is like just a moss stitch, I don't know what you call that. And then this side is the basket weave. But it is, it's the yarn that she used in her pattern, and it is Lime Brand, the Woolies. Now, that is something I want to do this year as well, is I want to knit more patterns with Lime Brand, or probably Lime Brand's what I would stick with, but you know, not we can't always afford the high-end yarns. We can't always afford the indie dyers. So I would like to just show some patterns knit in things like Lion Brand and the Woolies, or big box stores, so that there's alternatives out there. This, I am so happy with it. It feels great. It's not itchy. It is beautiful. I just hope that you can see the light. One you use 2 balls of yarn. And if I was very organized, like I wanted to be this year, I would have the ball bands, but One color was fisherman, and one color I think was oatmeal. It's, well, you know what, I can tell you because it's whatever she used in her pattern when she did it. Oatmeal and fisherman. So it's two skeins of oatmeal and 2 skeins of fisherman. It hangs clear to my knees on both sides, which I love. I wanted a big bulky scarf, and it just wraps and wraps and wraps, and it's so warm, and it just feels so good. I did make mine wider than the pattern called for. I just wanted a big wide scarf. My sister was knitting a big wide scarf, and I just loved it, so I thought I'm going to knit a big wide scarf. And so yeah, that is the Lighthouse Bay Super Scarf. And that's a pattern that is on Ravelry if you want to look that up. So that is all that's out of my bags. And we can move on then into what is in my bags. Now this, I'm loving it. First of all, it's in the bag, and this is by Bed of Roses. She has an Etsy shop. This also is by Bed of Roses. I plan to knit today, so I wanted to have this handy. She makes these bohemian style knitters jewelry, and it has your stitch markers, your progress keepers on here. And she gifted me that a while ago, and she actually, one of my viewers won one. You need to check her jewelry out. It is first class. I just love her work. And this is her bag. It's her Scandinavian, one of her Scandinavian Christmas bags. I'm so in love with it that I plan to use it at least through Valentine's Day. I may even use it throughout the year because it's so pretty and her bags are so well made. Catherine, you do a great job. But in it, I'm housing, it is my Miramenesnel. And I'm probably saying that wrong. I know that. But it's French. And I don't speak French. So this is called Miramenesnel. And it is it's a Cleonis knitting design. And this is what it's going to look like. Ugh, that is really bright. I'm doing this dress right here. You can do it in like a shorter sweater, a longer sweater, or the tunic, the dress. I'm doing the dress. So I just wanted it to wear with jeans or leggings. But this is how far I have. So there, when I posted it on Instagram about a week ago, I was this far. Now I've knit on down. So I have not measured to see how far down it comes. I've got quite a ways to go because I think this is maybe to my hips. Maybe, I don't even know if it's that far. But this pattern is so wonderful. I'm going to do the sleeves that are, there's several types of sleeves. She has like a straight sleeve that's kind of like fitted, or she has like a belled sleeve that has a cuff to it. That's the kind of sleeve I'm thinking about doing. But I love this. I'm using garn, it's the pattern that she calls for. It's Holst Garn Super Soft. So I'm using that along with the Holst Garn Titaka. Titaka? I don't know. Anyway, it's like a alpaca. So I'm using the two together. And I double checked with her because I said, you know, my gauge, you can actually kind of see through it. And she said, she assured me that super soft, once it's blocked out, plumps up. It blooms. So I'm to the point, really, I don't care if it doesn't. I'll just wear something underneath of it, a tank top or something. But I love this yarn, the dimensions of it. You can kind of see it's just not a solid black. But I'm very pleased with it. Very pleased with it. I love knitting this pattern. Number one, she's French. So she does her short, I don't know if this has anything to do with it. She does her short rows differently than I've ever done them. So I had to stop and think my way through that. But I like that. I like to have to stop and think my way through a pattern because I'm learning something new. And really, I really like the way she does her short rows. I always do the German short row No matter how I do the short rows, that to me has the best finished look. But it's the method in which she does those. And I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to give it away. It is a paid for pattern. But I did something there. I learned how to do the pleats. It's amazing how these people know to do this stuff. But it's a very well written pattern. Very, very enjoyable. I think you would like, and I think it is becoming on just about every body type. I think this pattern is. So, hopefully, I told my niches last night, we met to knit, and I said, okay, we knit again in 2 weeks. I said, hopefully this will be finished and I'll be wearing it. They didn't believe me. I don't believe myself. I mean, I will say though, I have been knit, since I finished the scarf, I knit on this all weekend long. We got away for the weekend, and so I got to knit a lot, and I knit on that. But, you know, it is little. I'm using, the size needles are, well, let me see. I don't even know what size needles they are. But, well, size 8s, that's not too bad. So, I mean, it's going slow, but yet, it's just mindless now, round and round and round until I get to the hem, and then I'll put a ribbing on it, and then I'll do the arms. I think the arms may go pretty fast. I don't know. I guess I'm wishful thinking. I want it to be finished. I would like it to be finished in 2 weeks, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, number 2. What is in my bags? And it's in my fringe supply bag. Me and one of my niches. No one else was brave enough to do it, but 2 of us are, and we're going to wear them proudly and boldly when we get them finished. I am doing the Marled Mania leggings by Stephen West, and I'm using scrap yarn, so I'm this far down one leg. Got the back, the booty, and the front, and now I'm this far down on the leg, on one leg. They're very comfortable. I will see, you know, one of them asked me last night if I was going to wear them to knit night. And no, I will be wearing them around the house. But no, I maybe for a walk in the neighborhood, but I doubt very seriously that you would ever see me out in them. But I do plan to wear them. I think they're cool. And I've got all this yarn that, you know, like leftover sock yarn that is like skeins this big that I've got to do something with. And so as the stash grows, I've got to think of things like this. I love it so much that I want to do this sweater that he has. I think it's a Marled Mania sweater. And then I saw, I got a catalog in the mail, and they were selling like a long cardigan, basically like that. And I'm thinking, I don't have to pay that kind of money to buy that. I can make that. So I plan to do a lot with my yarn that I keep having left over from shawls or socks, because they don't take all the full skein. And I've got a lot of this yarn. Like, you probably saw the picture on Instagram. But I have a lot, and I really, really, really want to knit from stash this year. You know, I'm not going to say I'm not buying yarn, because I am. I'm going to buy yarn. I mean, there's projects that I have lined up that require yarn that I don't have in my stash. But I am going to try to come up with projects, too, that I can use my stash. But anyway, so that's my Marled Mania leggings, and I would challenge any of you to knit them with me. I think you would enjoy it, and I think you'd be thanking me that you had them in your wardrobe to wear. I have one more thing in my bags. I haven't cast it on yet, but I just wound the yarn yesterday. It's in my Paradise Island bag. I love this bag. I think I've told you before, I love it really because it has the zipper here already in it that I can stick my notions in. When I ordered this, I was trying to be cost effective, and so I ordered the small bag, and I regret that. I should have ordered a bigger bag, because this is definitely a small project. which is fine. What I'm going to knit is a hat. So it is a small project. It's going to be out of this Brooklyn tweed. I'm trying to show. And this is gypsum, the quarry. And what I'm going to knit is, and I'm going to have to show you a picture of it too, because I have not printed the pattern. The Miramaisnal, the dress that I just showed you, and this hat are in my Make 9. So that will just help us to segue right into that Make 9 2019. This hat is, it is the Landslide hat by Shannon Cook. So it's the Landslide hat, and you also get with the pattern the fingerless mitts. So I've got 2 skeins of this. I went, when my husband and I went out of town this past weekend, he swung me by Black Mountain Yarn Shop. So I was able to buy 2 skeins of the quarry, which is what she used. And then I got something else that I'll show you later, but I'm so excited about. Anyway, this is part of my Make 9. Now, I wish the lighting today is really poor because I would like to show you all of my Make 9s that I'm going to do. Again, you'll have to revert to my Instagram page to see that. But so I'm going to switch over there really quickly so I can look at them all in one fell swoop. And so I can tell you, oh, I don't know that I wrote them down. Yes, I did. Okay, so I'm going to do the campfire sweater. An overall cable pullover, which that is listed in the pictures, but I can't find that yarn anywhere, so I'm real hesitant. I'm afraid I won't get the look of that sweater if I use a different yarn. So I haven't decided. I may have to substitute that one out. I'm going to do the campfire blanket scarf, the no frills sweater, which I already have the yarn for that. That's going to be cast on as soon as I get this Miramaisnal done. The Landslide hat, the Gramps cardigan. I think that might be the 9 things. So I'm going to knit the campfire sweater, the overall cabled pullover, the campfire blanket scarf, the no frills sweater, oh, the fur shawl, I forgot to say that, by Melanie Hoffman. Melody Hoffman. The fur shawl, and I also forgot to say the urban skirt. I'm going to do the urban skirt, the Miramaisnal, the Landslide hat by Shannon Cook, and the Gramps cardigan. And if you want to knit one with me, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I posted on Instagram last night that I was starting the hat, the what I call it, did I say the Landslide hat? Yeah, the Landslide hat by Shannon Cook. I haven't started that yet. So when you watch this, if you want to do it, look it up, let me know. Say, hey, I want to knit that with you, because that would make it so much fun. But any of my patterns, when I get ready to start, I'll post that I'm casting on. And if you want to knit it with me, I would love that. We could have fun doing that together. Maybe we could do a knit along. Or if I get like a lot of you that say, hey, when you get around to knitting, blah, 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 I want to knit that with you, then we'll just do a knit along. But if you want to do the Miramaisnal, jump in, because You may be faster at knitting than me. You may have more time to knit than me, and you may catch up to me. Or if I get done first, so what? You know, we can still do it together. So those are the 3 things that are in my bags. I don't have anything else cast on. I do have, like I said, I've got the no frills sweater. I'm going to do that. I've got the yarn already. I think a while back I showed you the Swamp Bunny fiber yarn that they sent me for. I was going to do a shawl with it. Then I could not get gauge with the shawl. The yarn was just was not showing off pretty. And I wanted to show that yarn off pretty. So I thought, I'm going to do the no frills. So I looked through my stash and I had some mohair, some creamy white mohair that I had ordered from Evil Little Goats a long time ago. And so I'm running that with it. When I start it, I can't wait to start that. I think it's going to be so pretty together. I love the yarn. But the other projects I don't have the yarn together for just yet. Hopefully, I'll get really organized and get them all in their bags and ready to go. Now, let's move on to, so we've done what? We've done what's in my bags. We've done what's out of my bags. Let's move on to my gift bags. Oh, I got 2 gifts this season. Actually, what I'm drinking today is the tea bag is Lady Grey. And Swamp Bunny Fibers sent me, I've been so good. I've not torn into this, but today I thought, you know what? I'm going to drink the tea from it as I'm podcasting. Sent me some tea and some chocolate. And then they sent me a stitch marker too, but I'm already using that on something. But they made this little Christmas stocking, and they had this yarn down in it. It was so pretty. Let me see if I stick it down in there so you can get the concept. And they had the chocolate sticking out of it. It was so pretty. Well, I don't think I'm going to stick it back down in there. Anyway, it came like that with this beautiful yarn. Oh, it is so pretty. So, it is Dockside. And let me see. I want this to, right there. Dockside. And then this is Fort Christmas. So those 2 together. Oh my goodness. That is so, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Sarah and Bonnie. I love it. I don't know what I'm casting on with it, but I do know they have to go together. So, I don't know, a shawl of some kind, but it's just so pretty. I mean, their colors, I do not know how you dyers do this, but it is stunning. Absolutely stunning. They are on Etsy. It's Swamp Bunny Fibers. I had her card here. I don't know what I did with it, but Swamp Bunny. I don't know what I did with her card. Anyway, I'll put it on the bottom of their Etsy shop, but you need to go on and check them out. They're semi-local. They live in Asheville and Hendersonville, so that's close enough for us to get together sometime. And we definitely want to make that happen, to get together and knit for a while. But they make bags. I mean, their sewing is just phenomenal. But they do make bags. Look at this pattern. Isn't that beautiful? Very well handcrafted. So check them out. Go give them some love. Tell them I sent you. You will not be disappointed. Then a friend of mine sent this. She makes bags, and her shop on Etsy is Twisted Dye Kitchen. But look at this bag. If you remember my Attenti bag, that's my travel bag, this matches it perfectly. And I told her, I said, if you don't mind, I'm probably not going to use this as a project bag. It's going to be my travel bags for like cosmetics and things, because it just matches it so perfectly. It's just so girly. So she sent me that, and she sent me this mug that is absolutely beautiful. And then, Sherry, there were some other things in there, but it was before Christmas, and I don't know what I did with them. She may have sent me a stitch marker as well. I love stitch markers, so usually when they come, I have to put them on something right away, and so they kind of get lost when I go to show you guys. But yeah, this is a soft pink. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just so soft. And then this is sparkly down here. So that came. So that's in my gift bags. Now we'll move into my shopping bags. Okay, this came yesterday. I love these, and I gotta look because I left the package in another room. I want Cedar River Knits. A friend of mine had this on her Instagram page. I want to say it's Amy from Exterminate, but I'm not sure. Anyway, maybe I need to take that. Can you see that Progress Keeper? It's a little cottage. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I've got to have those cottage stitch markers. That's my little Ruby Moss cottage. So I got online, and she had 2 left, and I ordered them. So those came yesterday. She has an Etsy shop as well. It's Cedar River Knits. And then she also sent that little Bambi, I guess. So yeah. Oh, I love those. And then, okay, so this weekend I told you that we went to the mountains, and my husband swung me by Black Mountain Yarn Shop. So I was checking out, and I went in. I was going in for the quarry, and I thought I was going to get the new fringe supply bag, the town fringe supply bag. Well, I was getting that, and then I checked out, and I saw this hanging behind her, and I said, "Is that twig and horn?" And she said, "Yes, it is." And I said, "Okay, I'm not getting the fringe supply this time. I'm getting the twig and horn." This is the wax canvas twig and horn bag. Remember I think it was the last podcast, I said I may buy myself that as a Christmas present. Yeah, well, I didn't, but then I did. I love this. It's the crossbody bag. So this is a crossbody. It's the waxed, which I love that rugged, rough sack look. It's very roomy on the inside. I have the other thing of quarry that I bought, and it's got pockets on both sides of the insides, and then it has this middle pocket that has grommets on both sides. Which, grommets, I'm not a big grommet fan because I don't know. I just have problems with grommets. But I know that's a big seller for some people. I had grommets in one of the in this big that Lighthouse Bay super scarf. I used a bag that had grommets. I can't remember what bag I had that in, but it was probably a Christmas bag. I don't remember. But I pulled the yarn from the wrong end, and it just kept bouncing and wrapping around the other ball that was in there. So I'm not a fan of grommets, but someday I may be. But I love this bag. It is well worth the price. I know they're pricey. I know that. But it's an investment. It'll be my bag forever. These leather straps, look how they're like hand worn. So they're not stiff. They're just, it just feels like a bag that's already been broken and used for years. But it's so well made. I'm just so excited about it. So excited about it. I love the color. I love everything about it. So I'll get that fringe supply bag the next time. She didn't really have the color I really wanted. I was going to buy the black one, but I'm so happy with that. Other than that, I've been very good. I have not shopped because it was Christmas, you know. I just didn't feel like I could be shopping for myself when I had, Christmas. So, and I had a very nice Christmas. So I didn't need to be shopping for myself, let others do it. Although I did stuff my own stocking just because I'm stuffing everybody else's. I might as well stuff mine with things I like too. All right. let's move on to my book bag. And this book bag is quite a book bag this time because have done a lot of reading. I got some fiber flying around. And now it's on my nose. I have been listening to a book called The Milkman. I'll tell you who it is. You may like it. You may think it was a great book if you've read it. It's definitely not one of my favorites. I have struggled through it. It's The Milkman by Anna Burns. I listened to it because we have an indie bookstore here in Charlotte, and they have a book club. It's on the other side of town. I don't go to the book club, but I do kind of follow along with the book club. So whatever they're reading that month, I try to read. And so this month was The Milkman, and I guess it was last month was The Milkman. They were going to discuss it the 1st of January, and it's a good thing I don't because I'm still kind of trying to suffer through it. I don't know, which is surprising because I do love all of their books. Okay, but I read my book club. I do belong to a little book club, and we read this. Now, I read this years ago, and we read this. It's Thursdays at 8 by Debbie McComber. We read it as a carryover book because we had read the Christmas Sisters that I told you about last month. We had read that book, and then we knew we couldn't get together over the holidays, so we just needed another book to carry us over to the 1st of January when we could meet. And I said, why don't we read Thursdays at 8? It's a great book about a group of women who meet Thursdays at 8. And they're not a book club, but they came together through a writing class, and so they just kind of share life, which our book club does that. And they had a word of the year, and so the word for the year, so they kind of talk about how that weaves in through their life. And so I've always picked a word for the year, and the other two had not. So this is their first year picking a word for the year. Good book. If you like just a good, encouraging book, Thursdays at 8 by Debbie McComber. I love Debbie McComber. I'm going to read this year her A Good Yarn series all over again. I read it a long time ago, but I'm going to read it again. But that is very good. Then I'm doing this book club. It's online. And I'll have to put down here the name of the group that's on Goodreads. But she is on Instagram, and I saw her, and so I joined that book club. Big Magic. Now, I know I'm late to the game. Creative Living Beyond Fear. I know I'm late to the game. I know this has been out for a while. She's the author of Eat, Pray, Love. This book is so good. You want a motivational book that will spur you past yourself and make you more aware of your purpose in life. It's this one. I love it. I absolutely love it. I am not very far, and I've been reading it, but see, I'm the type of book reader that when I read a book that is not a novel, it's basically a self-help or an inspirational, I've got to go back and read and reread and read and reread to get it to sink in or to remember it. So every time I pick the book up, I'm flipping back and rereading sections, and then I get hung up in that again, and I don't really get much further. But I am enjoying this very much, and it may take me longer than it takes a lot of people. They'll probably be moved on to another book, and it is my Iceland bookmark with the Northern Lights. But very, very, very good. Okay, now the next book I'm reading. Oh my goodness. This is my book club. It is so good. Is The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. This book is one of the reasons why I haven't knit as much, because I really wish it was on Audible so I could listen and knit. But then I want this book in my library. It is so good. And yes, I do bookmark pages. I write in my books too. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. Don't unsubscribe. But I love books. So I don't revere them. I love them. I embrace them. They become me. They're bookmarked. They're highlighted. This one isn't highlighted because it's just a novel, but a fiction. But oh my goodness, it is so good. It's about four girls that meet up at a boarding school in high school, and they start this lying game. And if they can convince people of the lie, they get so many points. And it's really a twist and turn, kind of a mystery that unfolds. It's good. You will love this book. Now, some of you also told me that if I would like Christmas Sisters, that I would love Where the Crawdad Sings. Okay. I got that book on Audible because it was Christmas and I just thought, I just want to be able to knit and listen. And first of all, I kept thinking, this book is nothing like Christmas Sisters. Well, that's not what you were telling me. You were telling me this is a good book. If that's a good book, this is a good book. You like good books. That book is so good. Thank you 100 times over. Several of you told me about it. If one had told me about it, I might not have listened. But when it kept popping up, I'm like, I've got to get this book. It is so good. You cannot stop. It also is kind of a mystery. Just kind of, it twists and turns throughout. You think this is going to happen and this happens. It is so good. Get it. Where the Crawdad Sings, and let me see who the author of that is. It is Delia Owens. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. So good. So good. Right now, if I were going to see, all of these are so good. I mean, The Milkman, I just tell you that because that's what I'm reading. And if you stumble across it, you might be going, do I want this book or this book? Oh, I've heard Milkman's not that great. That's why I say that. When I read books that I really don't like, the only reason me telling you is because I really don't like it and I don't want anybody else wasting their time. I'm the type of person, usually, if I start a book, I have to finish it whether I like it or not. That's why it's a weird hang up. I need that analyzed. But these books, The Lion Game, Where the Crawdad Sings, Thursdays at 8, Big Magic, are so good that I would just tell you over and over again, yes, get them. And Where the Crawdad Sings, I really kind of regret that it was on Audible because that is a book that I will probably buy at some time just because I want it in my library. Because I do pick books up. Now, it has to be a while. Like, it has to be, like, Thursdays at 8. It had been so long. And typically, I will write the year that I read them so that when I pick them up several years later, I know when I read it. I didn't do that with this. But I kind of forgot parts of it. So I'm glad I had, see, with my mind, that's the advantages of having a mind like mine. You kind of forget things. So you reread them, it's like you're reading a new book. Okay, so then the last one I'm reading is 100 Days to Brave. And it is like a devotional kind of thing. And so I'm reading it, and actually, I'm a little behind. I haven't read it. I think you're supposed to read it 100 days in a row, and I haven't read it. It's good. It's not, it's just an inspirational book. So you read like 2 pages a day. It's not in depth. I just like to have little devotionals. I read, Jesus Calling is my devotional that I read every day, every year. I mean, I just recycle it. It's so good. But I like little snippets of things like that. So if you're looking for a good devotional or inspirational book that, you don't have a lot of time to read, you just want something to sit down and read a good, get you on your way, this is good. This is kind of where I like the Discovery Brave, that some things, like you're going, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. So then you think, why don't you want to do it? Well, I don't know. It's kind of feel weird. Well, then, do it. Be brave. So anyway, that is all that we have. I hope that you've enjoyed spending your time with me. I always enjoy spending my time with you. I hope that your new year, oh, you know what? I am wearing something that I made a long time ago. This is the Lighthouse Keeper's Wife. It's just a cardigan that I don't even think I can stand up to show you. But anyway, I wear it. It kind of hangs down in the front, and I wear it around the house a lot just to keep me warm. I try to wear something handmade every day, whether it's socks. I also have a little pair of buddies on my feet that I made. whether it's socks around the house or a shawl if I'm leaving, or cardigan. I have a cardigan that I wear even as a almost like a robe over my nightgowns. So I try to wear something handmade every day. But yeah, this is the lighthouse keeper's wife, and look, it needs to be gleaned really bad. But I made it. Goodness, I made it years ago. Look, you can tell it's been worn. But yeah, that is a handmade. I can't believe I forgot to tell you about it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed your time here. I have. I look forward to your comments. I look forward to your response. I just want to encourage you this year to do it. Just go do the thing. Discover what you're for, what your purpose is. Just discover new things. Don't be afraid to do things. Don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You know, this podcast was a big deal for me. But I really am so thankful that I did it, because I've met so many of you wonderful people. So, I just want to encourage you to do it, and boy, is my hair a mess. Just do the thing. Next, I have coming up on the next podcast. Okay, so next weekend, my sister and I are going, we've rented a yurt, and we're going to spend the weekend in this yurt, and we're going to knit. And we're going to podcast together. We podcast one segment a long time ago, and everyone said, you guys need to podcast together. Well, she lives about 45 minutes to an hour away, and we just don't get together a lot. So we are going away next weekend just to knit. It's the weekend of Vogue Knitting Live, and me and a couple of niches were going, and then those plans fell through, and then everybody else got booked up. I had the time off, and my husband said, you need to go do something. So I called my sister and said, hey, you want to do this? And she was all in. So we plan to podcast. So the February podcast, hopefully, will be the two of us together. And that will be a lot of fun, because we have a lot of fun together. And I think that you will enjoy that. So look forward to that. And that's all that I have coming up before the next podcast. No, it isn't. We have birthdays at the cottage. My daughter and her son are having birthdays. So he will be 5 years old, my little Grandy. And he is really excited about his birthday. He called me yesterday on the phone and talked for 15 minutes. The first time he's ever called me. Talked for 15 minutes about his birthday. So, I'm excited about that. It'll be dinosaurs everywhere. And that's probably all we've got going on before we meet back here together. So, I'm going to get these two little monkeys out. And we're going to go get some lunch. And so, I'm going to leave you so that we can go have lunch. Right?
Right.
Right. So, what do you want to say to him? Happy knitting? And say, in all you do, take it one stitch at a time. Oh, talk deep. Say it loud. Take it one stitch at a time.
Take one stitch at a time.
Mwah. Bye. Bye.